fact, let me just put the background to it.
Yeah.
There's this whole thing that goes on with girls, and you and I unfortunately can't relate, but sort of poorer girls from rural areas who don't have access to sanitary pads, and when it's that time of the month, a lot of them drop out of school. The shame, all that sort of stuff. And so there's this whole move towards having them access sanitary pads either very cheaply or for free, so they can then be able to attend school and keep up with schoolwork, and you guys are involved in it.
Yes. So basically, part of the government's initiative, which is to provide free access and equal access to both boys and girls to school continuously, we found that there was a major gap because girls were missing school for up to 6 weeks in a year, and that was really affecting both their performance as well as other secondary factors that started coming in, such as female genital mutilation, child labor, and HIV indirectly. So the government, as well as a bunch of other NGOs and suppliers such as ourselves, have been trying to lobby this. And this year is the first time in Africa that a government has taken this initiative to a national level, which we're very proud of.
But to be honest, and here we have to be very open about it, is we don't think about such things. When you think about such things when they're significant hours in our lives, when we know that's what they're going through, but even then, it's never primary in our minds, but it's such a central and core issue to especially teenage adolescent girls that one wonders why no one ever thought about it before.
Yeah, I think the whole subject has been quite a taboo, and I think up until the 90s, women really refused to talk about it in a public arena, and I think it's with the onset of social media and the confidence that girls have now to raise issues that it's really taken up into the forefront of the agenda of trying to get girls into schools now.
Then you get involved with it from the perspective of you're the company that's doing this, applying to the government.
Yeah, so African Cotton is the only manufacturer of sanitary towels with wings in Kenya. We invested in this machinery in 2005, and it's competing up there with international products at the highest standard. And making it locally means that we can afford to make it cheaper than the imported products. So we've come in as kind of the affordable supplier of sanitary towels to the girls.
The question becomes, though, and that's why we wrote what we've written there, which is philanthropy and profit.
Yes.
On the one hand, it's philanthropic. It's a good thing that is happening. Girls can stay in school, like you're saying, and there's all these ancillary things that you take out of the equation, like you said, female genital mutilation, early marriage, and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
But to some extent, you're doing this either at cost or for a profit. And so some people will sit there and say, why not do it for free? Why not do it as part of CSR? But you come back and say, no, we're doing this because of that. You sort of went and tendered for the contract, and you won that tender.
Yes. I mean, for a company of our size, to supply close to 250,000 girls at cost is a lot of work. But at the same time, because of the fact that we're a local manufacturer, there are a bunch of other benefits that come about, such as we've employed an extra 100 staff to cater for this tender. There's secondary benefits down the distribution line through the transport and the training, the education of the girls is all being passed on to other industries, not only ours. I think the main benefit of us coming in as local manufacturers as well is that there's a saving in currency. So you know that in the past several months the currency has been fluctuating substantially, and rather than import this product and send out the money abroad, let's filter it down into our economy. So we get some repatriation savings from being local manufacturers.
Back to that core question, and I remember having this debate with someone from where were they from? I don't remember. It was a few months ago. Yes. But in effect, the sort of business we're engaged in is almost venture philanthropy is what they call it.
Okay.
Which is, again, it's very similar. It's not in terms of products, in terms of service. Instead of going off and giving people stuff, they say we're needy for water, we're needy for this thing. They then lend money to them. It's a lot lower in terms of the cost of lending and all that sort of thing. But they say, listen, if we don't do it from a profit perspective, it doesn't last. If it's a matter of simply sitting there and handing people out checks, then nothing gets lost.
Yes.
Is it similar in terms of your thinking?
I think when it comes to education, I think there has to be a more longer term view. And I think the payback for the government, because this is the government who's financing this, is very much a long term kind of investment in education for the girl child. And what statistics have shown are that, for instance, a year extra of education for an average girl means her wages are up 10-20%. And that has a payback.
That's over her lifetime?
Over a lifetime. And that has a payback indirectly for the government. Yes. So I think, yes, it's fine looking at this as a handout, but statistically, I think it's proven that this sort of initiative, by getting girls to school, by providing free education for children in its first place, has benefits for the government in terms of an investment perspective.
For you as a company, African Cotton, and we probably know you by your brands more than we know you by the sort of the name of the company. Yeah. And you're engaged, number one, you're saying that you're the only local manufacturer who manufactures, what are those things called?
Sanitary towels,
products.
Feminine hygiene
those
products.
Things that we don't know anything about. The ones with wings, don't ask me how they work, whatever. Anyway, but the point is, you're the only ones doing it locally.
Yes.
You've got all your other products, and we're having this argument downstairs about whether it's called toilet paper or tissue paper. For me, it's called toilet paper. That's what my shopping list says. That sort of business is where, I mean, you ask anyone now what business would you go in, they'll tell you they're going to go into IT, and they're going to go into this, the glamour side of things. You guys are the most boring business in the entire world. You manufacture toilet paper business and sanitary towels, stuff that you flush down the toilet.
Yeah. No, we're in the plumbing business.
That's what we call it.
That's what we call it. No, but these are.
I don't even think about what.
No, these are necessities for people. African Cotton has been manufacturing what we call fast-moving consumer goods.
Yes.
Things that you use daily in your home for, as I said, over 50 years.
Yeah.
And we're trying to grow our product lines to cater for the basket when people go shopping. That they include as many products of African cotton as possible.
But in effect, the point that I'm making, I mean, it sounds like a joke, but there are very few people who think of getting into this. In fact, literally, it's a plumbing business, not just plumbing from that perspective, but because plumbing is the stuff you don't see in your house. People will think about tiles, and they think about the television set, and they think about the books that will impress everyone. No one thinks about the plumbing, you know, and so it's, again, hidden and boring, but yet it's profitable, you're engaged in it.
Yes.
How, I mean, you're a young man, you could have gone into anything, you could become a pilot. They said, I'm going into the family business, and we're going to produce plumbing supplies.
No, I think it's one of those things that we started, and we're trying to understand our consumers and see what their needs are and offer a solution for all the aspects of their household needs. Yes, there are big multinationals in the detergent side and in providing other aspects of the household products. We found that there was a huge gap. Actually, it started in the 60s when we were a cotton wool manufacturing firm, and we found that our sales were very high in rural Kenya. And when we did some analysis, we found that actually a lot of women were using our cotton wool as a cheap alternative for sanitary towels. And that we put the two together and thought, okay, let's try this business and let's make kind of a portable sanitary towel so that women don't have to use our cotton wool as a kind of crude form of feminine hygiene. And so we started it in the 70s, making sanitary towels, those kind of diaper forms, rectangular pads that you'll still find in many of the hospitals because they're used for maternity pads.
Yes.
And the evolution of the product was such that, Procter & Gamble's always came in the 90s, which was a revolutionary new thin product with wings. And we're doing something that's very similar and matching the local lady.
Do you get tempted though, and we saw this especially towards the late 90s in the US and other countries. Here it sort of came in this last decade that we were in, which is where you do all this analysis and you get in all these experts who come in and consultants who tell you, no, your core business, you're not actually selling plumbing. What you're selling is some solution of some sort. And that's what they always call it. And then you end up losing focus and start thinking, because you're selling that solution, this is a business we should be in. And then you get lost, and 10 years down the road, you wonder what happened to our African cotton. Is it that you know some? Are you a distributor? You're speaking like a consultant.
Sorry. Are you a distributor? Are you a brander? And I think we're a local manufacturer that makes quality products for the local people.
But when someone comes to you and tell you, listen, if you guys are doing this, you call African cotton, and now the big thing is thread count in bed sheets. And as far as they're concerned, that's cotton material. So you do that, and it's now glamorous. You can actually go out to Sarit Center in an exhibition and say we sell this high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets instead of saying we sell plumbing material.
Yeah.
Is it that temptation?
Yes, I think the advantage that we have is that cotton wool, we are the lower end of the cotton wool side, so we're not on the textile side. So the cotton wool we get is the combinol, which is the sort of third grade cotton that is used for making the earbuds and the makeup remover and all that. We don't have the facilities or the kind of manufacturing capabilities to make, the textile high dark feathered
see there, you know these things.
Pillows.
You're worrying me now. If you look at what's going on in Kenya, with the government coming in and saying, yes, we understand the needs of girls in school, are there any other African governments that are thinking along the same lines, that are looking and seeing, maybe we can do this, or even private philanthropy that says, we understand where the problem is, we want to try and see where they can help?
No, there's a lot of work being done in this field. I think it's quite up there in the agendas of a lot of development agencies. I know Botswana is in kind of negotiations at the moment, and they're discussing whether this initiative should be launched. India has started rolling this out in a similar way. So I think we've been quite good in the sense that we're leading the way in this front, and our pilot project is hitting 500,000 girls, which is an excellent initiative. And I hope that many other African countries and African governments will take this on.
Would you ever supply to them? Like, say the Botswana government put out a tender and he said, listen, we're such experts in this. We actually know that market inside out. It's rural, it's probably the lower end of the scale, it's schoolgirls who are probably using it for the first time. So because we're such experts, we have done this in Kenya, let's go and do that.
Yeah, there would be no reason why not. I think the major aspect is the distribution challenges are very, very tough.
So these are bulky things?
Well, they're fairly bulky. I mean, you're looking at a kind of 1 foot by 1 foot pack per girl. But the fact that there are 500,000 girls in the ruralest parts of Kenya, the most remote parts, where, I mean, even with the flooding at the moment, it's been a real challenge to get out to them. In over 4,000 schools across Kenya, it's not an easy job to try and get each pack out to each girl. And so we've had a lot of help with the government in terms of dropping it to the DEO's office and coordinating with them to get the product out to the girls at the end of the day.
That's the point. If you have such expertise now, and you are developing such expertise now, you can go off to any government and say, listen, we have developed this expertise. We developed expertise in not just manufacturing them, but distributing them, which is always a most difficult thing.
Exactly.
Here we are ready-made. We'll partner even with a local guy, but we'll do it for you.
Yeah, I think after the success of this project, I think we will definitely be trying to push this project in the region at the first stage.
What about the key question everyone asks, sustainability, which is you've done it for the 500,000 girls, they sort of have their supplies. 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, governments come and go, they get different priorities, all these sort of things. How sustainable is it?
Well, I think there's one initiative that the government have really put a lot of emphasis on, which is to partner with other NGOs and developmental agencies. So that's something we're trying to work on in the next year, which is to try and get on board a variety of developmental organizations that are willing to take this on in a more long-term basis. But I think the government of Kenya is pretty strongly for this, and I think for the medium term, we have a pretty good outlook.
Because something on Twitter, I just want to try and find it as we sort of almost come to an end, where someone actually saying that they're raising money to try and see whether they can do this, just sanitary pad distribution. For some reason, it's become almost a cause célèbre in Kenya. It's become the sort of thing where people are saying, let's get involved in it, and it's probably that and school meals. Are private people coming in, they're saying, we're not government, but we want to come in on a private basis, even just individuals coming together and doing it?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a bunch of messages from locally and abroad. People are willing to try and help in this project, donate money, see where they can help in all aspects of the project. And we've been really overwhelmed with the kind of support that us as suppliers have got, not only as the whole project has got in itself.
For the company, what's in your future?
Well, I think, like I mentioned, try and get this project out across the region. But we're looking at a bunch of other projects. One of them being the tampons, which is the next stage in the evolution of this product. So we're excited about the prospect of Kenya and the region.
What about the other stuff? Toilet paper, stuff that affects me.
Yeah, well, toilet paper.
Sorry, we want to say tissue paper. You have to be polite about it.
Printed serviettes. Watch out for that. For your party next.
Oh yeah, the ones with my name on it and everything.
Yeah, with the name on it, bright colored designs.
My birthday is coming up in very many months. It's in October. I should actually announce when my birthday is, so I can get presents from everyone, but I shall not announce when my birthday is because that's doing self-marketing. But anyway, it's a serious topic, by the way. We have been keeping up, especially social media nowadays tells you everything about how girls are not able to stick in school simply because of natural occurrences, and some of them drop out and never manage to get back. So a huge initiative going on right now. As our guest said, 500,000 schoolgirls are being reached in a pilot project, and hopefully should reach almost everyone who needs to be reached by a project like that. The whole issue of philanthropy and project is an important one. I think it's one we shall continue to discuss as we go on PM level. That's the one for the week on the 11th of May. Back with you as usual on Monday the 14th. Actually, Monday the 14th, don't forget, is the day they announce the fuel prices. It's done every month, so join us for that one and try and let you know how much you'll be paying for your fuel in the month of May and June. But thank you for being with us. Good afternoon.